festivals in the past. This would be the largest festival we played, but we played to festivals of like 2,000 and 4,000 people before. I mean, you know, smaller ones. And we headlined a festival in, is that France or Belgium? Belgium. You know, so we've done it before. It's fine. You know, this would be the largest one, and this would probably be the friendliest of the bunch in terms of the audience response, except for the one we headlined, because we headlined that one. They knew
so they better like us.
Yeah, exactly. They better like us. So this time around, they didn't know who we were, but they were still kind of into it. You know, that's always nice. It was nice to play to an appreciative audience of that many people.
Yeah, and it's nice because we've been doing a lot of club shows lately. And so every once in a while to get like a big crowd sprinkled in there is really it's really exciting.
And I couldn't wait. I have to admit, there was a moment there where I was dancing around and I knew the camera was going to be focused on my ass, and I could not, I had to see it, you know. And when I looked up at the big monitors behind me, focused on my wiggling behind, I was laughing so hard I lost my place in the song. I was like, oh, this will be brilliant.
That's always great, because when you start laughing, I start laughing too.
I was laughing so hard I lost my place. I was like, oh man, where am I? That was funny. That for me was like the reward for everything else. The whole tour.
Yeah.
The whole tour comes down to me watching my ass on a big screen. The lights on the crowd, I could see the people, and they were loud. You know, I could really see that a big chunk of the crowd, at least, were really into it. And that's always gratifying when you see a crowd of people who really enjoy watching you do what you do. You know, I couldn't. You know, that's really the best part about it. Yeah. So we're looking at 10,000 or so people, and they're all doing their thing. It was great.
Had you heard anything about this festival before coming?
No,
here?
I had heard nothing about it, and when I went online to look for it, all I saw was information about the natural amphitheater. So I was really hoping I would get here in the daytime so I could see the natural amphitheater, and then of course we didn't show up till the middle of the night.
Yeah.
You know? So I couldn't really see what the thing looked like, but it sure sounded good.
Yeah.
I understand you were asked to cover an Australian band, or they said it'd be a good idea.
Yeah, they wanted to.
How did you land on NXS?
Well, you know, they
or
had
that song.
They had a list of like tracks and cool bands, like, you know, do a Saints cover, do a Lion Spiders cover, do a Be Suburban cover, something like that. You know, we're like, yeah, all right, sure. So we were sitting in the thing, you know, we were sitting in the studio, like deciding which one we wanted to play. And we're like, man, being cool, let's do something funny. You know,
yeah.
and
it was so much fun to play.
We realized we knew those songs better than we knew any of the cool stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes you don't want to be Russell Crowe. Sometimes you want to be Ralph Harris. So just do it. Yeah, so we figured we knew the NXS songs way better than we knew any of the stuff by the Lime Spiders or the Scientists. So we just like, let's just do these.
Yeah.
We thought, oh, this will be funny. You know, we were having our own joke. And we thought, man, they're so going to hate that.
Yeah.
When we sent it off, we sort of like reconsidered going, they're going to hate that. They're going to send it back and they're not going to bring us to Australia.
We're going to be in so much trouble.
Exactly. We thought we were going to, you know, they were just going to be mad with us. But then, you know, it turns out they really loved it. Everybody really loved it.
Yeah, and when we play it in Australia, people go nuts.
Well, half of the audience goes, oh. Yeah. And the other half goes, yeah!
A good song is a good song, you know?
Yeah, a good song is a good song. Yeah, to answer the question of why those songs, we knew them.
Yeah.
You know, that Kick was an enormously successful LP in America, and you know, I mean, and it was more successful than any of the rest of them because the songs were appealed to a lot of people. Like, you know, we've been hardcore punk rockers. We were all digging on "Need You Tonight" in Detroit.
I think it's the second show I ever went and saw in my life. You know?
Yeah, you know, and I liked NXS since the main thing, the one thing. Whatever, the Shua Shua, the first record. You know, those were. I was among the. I had a disc jockey job when I was in college. I was among the first people in America to play Original Sin when it came out.
That's a good song.
I was in the studio. I happened to be hanging out in the studio the day the record came out. I might have tried out for the lead vocalist spot in NXS if they hadn't made a game show out of it. You know, they had just had regular auditions. I might have tried out.
NXS featuring Nick Collins.
Dream on blackboard,
and wake up to a brand new day. To find your dreams have washed away.